there, Outliers. Niiamah Ashong here. I am so excited for us to really be in space with each other here in this conversation. We have an opportunity here. So you're catching us as we are going live as part of our 10,000 minutes before the end of 2025 game that we're playing. And this year starts, I don't know, minute somewhere between minute 14 and 17. There if you've been paying attention, you might have gotten multiple notifications because I went live and then I stopped and now I'm coming back live again. I want to make sure I'm capturing that in real time. The Today we're going to be playing a couple different games. I'm going to be continue to expand and use this as a real time experience to discover what is the style of live streaming that works for me. How do I want to continue growing it, and what's the style that works for you all? Right? With the idea and intent of really not just coming on to talk what is it, just off the top of my head, but really coming in to find like ways to play with each of you in meaningful ways. And so what's shaping up right now is I want to start off with honesty, and I think that that's some of the things that's going to keep this like really real for me as I go along, and also make this actually worthwhile because there's other things we could be doing with our time right now. And what the place I want to start off with is an honesty around like restarting up this live stream. So I came in here and I'm still figuring out exactly like how do I want to structure things. Today, we're actually going to go through three different structures that I have in mind here. Or actually, I don't even have it in mind. I literally went to my AI at ChatGPT and said like, "Hey, I'm going live for 45 minutes. Like, what can I do?" I'll talk more about that in a bit. But we'll be going through those structures here, and I'll be sharing some more about this. I think that the way I want to play it is for now just to keep everything rooted in proof, keep everything rooted in real time, and share like what's actually happening and what has been uh, unfolding for me, my clients, and beyond. And over time, we'll learn how to codify that differently, like turn these all into different segments or programs. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work when it comes to live streaming, but generally speaking, I found that the more that I invest in something and get the experience of it, the faster I learn. And I think there's something in this space around the faster I learn being more along the lines of there are a lot of things I feel like I'm in uncharted territory, and when I feel like I'm in that uncharted territory, what ends up being a way to kind of lean into it or to grow is just to actually spend time actually putting myself out there and having the experience in real time. And so this is it. Like we're going through the learning process together. I cannot wait. I'm so happy that we get to do live streams like this because you get to see in real time, like how the growth, what's going to take place. Like I've had experiences over the last, I don't know, decade at least I can think back of not knowing how to do things, fumbling through it and but just getting started, and then coming to it later on and realizing just how natural it ended up being. So right now you're seeing me come to you live. What you may or may not know is that in the last 18 months, I've recorded over what is it, 500? I need to find out the exact number here, but somewhere between 400 and 600 podcast episodes. All right, it's wild for me to say that. Let's say 400 just to be conservative about it. But we release 400 episodes, and each time we come together, I bring together a different group of 4 to 5 individuals who are entrepreneurs and outliers, people who see their world differently and are living their world differently. And what occurred to me throughout this, like after the 18 months and things had gone on, I realized I still love that format. I still love meeting new people. It's a great way. I also meet my clients through it, and different partners. Like it's a great way to start relationships, these kinds of conversations. But what was missing was that I wasn't able to bring my own thought leadership to the table. When we were having these sessions, it was really me showing up and being like the, how do I say it? Being the host, really, right? I was platforming other people, which I love to do, but over what I realized is that like I stopped coming out and sharing my own thoughts. I stopped coming out and sharing what's real and what's been taking place around there. And so right now, this is I'm excited for this platform and this means of communicating with you all, because this now gives us an opportunity to play even further. And I do say I use with you very intentionally. You'll see in the corner of your screen there's a Talk to Niiamah QR code. Go ahead and, like, if you want to come and join me live and have a real conversation with me, you can either leave some comments. I will respond to comments here in real time. You can kind of look at it, ask me anything style for now, and then if you want to come on and actually jump on the call with me, you can go sign up on to the Outliers at School community, and once you're there, we'll give you instructions on how to come in and join us live. It's one of the things I like as a part of being a part of the movement. It's like, all right, now come on here, let's move things together. So I think I'm going to start this. We're 5 minutes into this, but I'm going to start. But where I would like to like ground this next segment of conversation is actually around like the 10,000 minutes. I like it's something that I'm putting into all the streams for the next bit of time, and I say all of it as if I know the future. I've done two of them so far, two of them that since I started the game. But I want to speak more about like what is a 10,000 minute game, why am I playing it, so on and so forth. So yesterday I came up with the idea to play a game of live streaming for 10,000 minutes before the end of the year. At the time of this recording, it is November 20th of 2025. So I have about like 6 weeks to get there. And there's also time I'm going to go spend with the family and such. So there's going to be some period of time where it's just like it's going to take some effort to get to the 10,000 minutes. So why did I choose that then? Right? Why didn't I like? Why did I choose it? Well, there was a. I think first and foremost, there's a reason. There's a deeper underlying reason why I did it, which is around play. And I'll talk more about that. And the second reason is like, why 10,000? Why so many minutes? Why did I choose that? So I'll get into like the number behind it and what it calls it. And then third thing I'll do is share to you like the benefits that I expect to get as a result of choosing this goal, as a result of coming in and choosing to be here. Okay. So first, let's take you back to like what was happening in the first place. So look, I haven't been. Let me put it this way: the last week in particular has been some of the slower weeks for me in my business, and not because the business was slow, but because I was slow. I was waiting. I found myself waiting for some kind of action. I reach out to people through cold email. That's how I go out. Reach out to tens of thousands of people to bring them onto my podcast and to start relationships from there. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I ended up trying to change my tactics with or a campaign, and that campaign ended up blowing up all of my email accounts, and I have to like start that whole process all over again, new email accounts, and like wait before I start inviting people in. And so it took me out of this like ongoing rhythm that I had found myself in for the last 18 months. It's like hundreds of emails go out a day. Some people come in and they want to come in and start a relationship and come on the podcast, actually. Then we start a relationship together. And some of them become clients, some of them become people we collaborate with and beyond, right? But then that stopped. And what was really cool was that when it did stop, when I just got like when I opened up my inbox and it just like this account has been suspended, this account's been suspended, this account, and it just went on and on and on. And I recognized for myself that like what ended up happening was that I ended up taking like a breath and like, oh, okay, like this is happening now. And rather than getting lost in the mix around it all, I just I kind of like took it with stride. I'm like, all right, now we have to go make our next moves. So we have some like while that's taken time to be ready for me to use, I realized that it was actually a wonderful opportunity for me to step into something beyond. Um, and like as I say that, I say it in a way that makes me look like what puts me in a really great place. But what really happened is that someone I really trust, Dr. Alexandra Wall, she's been someone who is very insightful, but also tells the truth because of the level that she of the game that she plays. And she talked to me. She said, "Hey, Niiamah, you talk about leading the movement, and I experience you as someone who's powerful out in the world. And in our conversations, they've had great impact. But when I go online, when I go look for you out in the world, this movement doesn't exist. There's no one here with the movement. And if any of you know anything like that, where like you feel something is true in your heart, you're talking about it, you're sharing it out with everyone, but then it doesn't actually get get out into the world, go ahead and like leave a comment. Just say like I get that. Let me know a little bit more about what it is that resonates with you in particular, like what your thing is. That'll be helpful for me, and we'll highlight it here on the live stream as well. But she said this to me. Alessandra said, like, she's like, you talk about a movement, but I don't see it. And well, it broke me in like a great way, but it broke me in the sense that like I couldn't get around it. My emotional level was like, wow, like I'm really being called in. Like if I'm really looking at this, like that's true. Like I'm not really leading the way I want to lead or the way I feel I could be leading. The second part was the logical part. And that was the part that was like super hard because like logically it's like if I lead a movement and there's no movement to be seen, then how can you possibly like how did the two of these things like exist like at the same time simultaneously? I'm like, oh, it can't. Like I'm not leading this movement. I'm not here. Right. And then the third one was like more on like a soul level. I was gonna say spiritual, but it's really soul. And it's like I'm I have purpose, you know, like if I end all my conversations, I end with be you on purpose, right? And that is both like on purpose for like with intentionality, but also on purpose with your larger mission. And so I'm encouraging that for people. And I realized like, oh, I'm not be like I'm out of purpose, right? And it's not to say I wasn't doing anything. Like I was doing the podcast and we were bringing on hosts, like, and everything I do is in alignment. It wasn't that, but it was, I kept talking about this thing that I wanted, but I wasn't doing it. I wasn't putting it out there, at least not as, not in the iteration or the way that I really wanted to, right? It was almost like tangentially. It's like, it was like, yeah, he's leading the movement. Yeah, there's things here, but it's not the real deal. So I bring that in, and I recognize that with the emails going down, and like me being called into my greatness and being like, we see you, but we don't see you, you know, like you're being seen, but you're not visible. I realized it's something like it was a wonderful opportunity for something to change, and so with that, I built out and brought on a new team member. I, there's a bunch of like in between, and I want to make sure that I call this out. I'm going to share with you all the output stuff that happened, but underneath this, know that this took weeks. It's like I had to change. I want to go and be like, I did this, I did that, I did this. I just like woke up and I was like, oh, now we have to go put in action mode. Absolutely not. This is probably like like I said, 2-3 weeks ago from just the email stuff. Even before that movement thing happened weeks before that. So we're talking about like 5 weeks ago was like when this first happened, and I realized that like who I was being, the way that I looked at myself, like I didn't have the structure internally, and more importantly, I didn't have the energy. Like I'm like I have two young kids. Like I'm trying to make things come to life. I'm coaching my clients really powerfully, and I'm meeting people who are playing bigger and bigger games. Like when I work with my clients, we're working on $500,000 problems like at a minimum, and so I'm like this will take a lot, and I've also learned that while I love doing different things, there's a quality to volume, but there's also like a return from continuing to invest in the same thing and doing that with a lot of volume and getting really good at it. And that's something that was new to me. So what ended up happening was took a couple weeks, honestly. But through that time, over the couple weeks, a couple pieces fell into place. One, I hired someone to come be on my team. Actually, I hired two people to come be on my team, and we were going through the process of seeing like who would work with me, who would work best with me. Two, I had to like reconfigure how like I had things that were working in the business with the podcast. But I'm like, well, how do I keep doing what was working there, but also elevate it to the next level? My friend encouraged me to do live streaming, and I knew that like I've done this in the past to different degrees. So I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Let's go ahead and do that. So I took on a I had to discover like what tool to use for live streaming. I went through like this whole thing of figuring out what's the right thing for me. I got to be I have a school community, which is actually where we house the movement. I had to figure out they introduced new tools, and I'm now able to have ways for people to come in for free, which I didn't have beforehand. So now I had to go figure out what is the structure behind that and the system behind that, and how do I welcome people in around that, and what should I name the tiers, and how how do they all work, and what should they get in each. And so there was a lot of like prepping. But yesterday we got to the point where I was looking at the last 3 or 4 days, and I recognized that like when I looked at those days, I'm like, I've had way more time on my calendar than I've had in a very long time, and I'm not really using it. In fact, like what really got me was that the night before, I had stayed up. My wife had gone to bed, and I had actually I'd tried to numb things or whatever. I was avoiding to such an extent that I was playing like some games in my bathroom. I went in the bathroom, turned had the light off so I didn't wake anyone up, and it was just like playing a game in my bathroom until like 1, 2 in the morning. Right, and I have young kids, so they get up at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. So it's like that was I was really finding myself in that space of like, wait a minute, why am I not why am I not moving forward? I have the time. I've done the things. What went on? I talked to my coach, Lori Sauce, and like she's amazing. And we ended up going to a place where we recognized at the end of the conversation that there was some part of me that wanted me to play. And it was such a basic part that just like did it like literally physically, like it was just very literal about it. It's like go play. And so I ended up playing Magic the Gathering, but like at that time physically, or like that's what it actually came to. But the idea that the thing that really left me was this idea of integrating play going forward, right? Being more playful and not looking at all the things that I see coming with the movement and where I want to take the business and where I want to help people with their impact as work to be done. Because nowadays I see it. I get like, oh, there's like every decision I make has compounded work that needs to get done, right? Uh, and it was freezing me. It was freezing me because I was like, how do I do this without it being like without having to do all the work? But there's no way around it. There was no way around it. Uh, so what ended up happening yesterday was just this recollection that this decision to start playing more. And that actually like changed things inside of me. I was like, oh, well, if I'm playing, I don't have to get it right. If I'm playing, I might lose, but it doesn't mean I can't play the game again. If I'm playing, that means that there may be spectators and other people watching, and it's like there's something there. If I'm playing, like I don't need to be courageous. If I'm playing, it's not work, it's the game. Even though I'm still taking, this is important, even though the actions are the same, even though the actions are the same, the way that I'm holding it, the way that I'm framing it for myself and so forth, just becomes lighter. In fact, if you watch any of the podcast episodes I put together, if you ever have the chance to get coached with me, I'm doing live coaching here today. So if there's something on your mind or on your heart or on your soul that you want to bring out to life, go ahead, use the QR code, join the school group, and you'll get a link to as to how to come and join us into this space here, or just leave a comment and say, hey, like I have something I want to bring up here in Niiamah. But it was just so real, and I realized that like by playing, I often talk about, do you want to play a game? Can I play with that? I ask people, what's the game that you're playing right now as soon as they come onto the podcast? And I realized like it's because we do what's really really heavy things out in the world. We're creating change, right? Whether it's leading your business, whether it's leading your team, like whether it's bringing out an idea that no one else has seen, or like bringing like writing an injustice that will take that where there's systems all around you that are working against it. No matter what, it takes energy and they're heavy stuff. And there's something about playing a game that changes the dynamics. Like we can still take the actions, but we don't have to make it heavy. So that became real for me. I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for me to start playing and get into business. And with that, I was thinking about specifically how to get like well, actually, what I ended up, I ended the conversation, and I wanted to come and share that. I was like, oh, what if I just came and played? And then I was like, well, I have everything set up from the live stream. I can just go ahead and hit record and go, which was great. Like I had the infrastructure in place to go and play. And two things took place. The first one was that I'm like, okay, I can go hit live right now and share, but that might be playful, but am I playing? Am I really playing? And the idea of doing 100 items, Alex Hormozy has this thing he calls the rule of 100, and it's essentially do 100 core actions over 100 days. Right, we do 100 core action over 100 days. That's ends up being 10,000 core actions, and it's really hard to fail when you're taking if you're doing something 10,000 times. And that number felt really good, like really really good to me. Before I even met knew anything about Hormozy, I had this idea of the world joy conversations, and those conversations were that we would have it was have 10,000 conversations a year, right? To have my platform spark 10,000 conversations. So 10,000 to me actually already has resonance, and there's something in that number that is just like absolutely ridiculous. I mean, people talk like 10x, like, and they're like, that's a big thing. But I'm like, I'm going 1,000 times the 10x. Like, that's a lot, So how do you do that? And there's what I love about that is that it completely breaks all the rules. Like, I cannot go about doing things the way that I was going to do it when I think about 10,000 X in something, right? Or doing something 10,000 times. Like, it just doesn't work. So what up until that point, I had been looking at things and saying, okay, I need to have my live stream already set up. I need to know what I'm going to do, and what the programs are going to be. I need to have all the ways for people to move from one conversation with me to the next, the QR codes, and exactly what I need to put on the screen. Like all these, it was all these details. And then okay, they're going to come to this thing, and then I need to have the whole system worked out because I'm a giver and I like to talk, and so it's very easy for me to just come on and talk and not have that turn into business, right? And both of these things need to happen simultaneously. And what ended up happening there was that like the 10,000 hours, 10,000 minutes, because I wanted to do 10,000 hours beforehand, but I was like, that's so much, that's so long. I can't, like, that's too far of a game for me to play. Like 10,000 hours is multiple years if I was looking at it in the 40-hour like work week, right? And I like, yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm like, it's too long. I was like, but 10,000 minutes, well, 10,000 minutes I can do. Uh, and but like I'm thinking about it because I just said 10,000 minutes I can do. I'm like, but it required me doing everything differently, right? I had already at this point decided I was going to do a daily live stream Monday through Friday, starting at 10 o'clock. We're a little bit early here today because I have a call. I haven't gotten my calendar in alignment with it, and that was one of the things that was so easy to stop. I was like, well, I want to do it at 10. I want to do it at the same time every day. So until I have a whole week where I can do the same time every single day and I can figure out what that time would be and maybe make it work for all the time zones, like I wasn't going to do anything. I just wasn't going to show up, y'all. I'm like being honest. I wasn't like, it was a very easy way for me not to get things done. I'm going to ask you to put in the comments right now, like what's something that you have right now where you're able to create a very like reasonable, pliable reason why it's not getting done, that it's completely justifiable and keeps you exactly where you are, keeps you stuck rather than having you move forward. Because that was one of mine. I'm like, it's a daily show. I want to make it a show. I've done this in the past. Like, I can't just go live and just start talking. I need a show that I've evolved. The thing about the 10,000 minutes, though, is that it's very 10,000 minutes in like 6 weeks, and I'm going on vacation the last 2 weeks of the year. So it's like 10,000 minutes in a month. All right. I'm giving myself the time. I'm like, I'm gonna give myself those 2 weeks. I'm not gonna keep myself from having it. But those 10,000 minutes, it's very unforgiving. It's very unforgiving. Like every day that goes by, it's like that chunk of potential minutes that were available disappear forever based on this game. And that was cool. That was really cool. There was a consequence to waiting, which is what I wanted. I wanted to start myself. And what also happened then, so now the consequence, I had something out there. The thing about the 10,000 minutes is like it's so much that I'm like, I can't script out 10,000 minutes and like right now, and I don't even know what I'm doing yet, right? Or at least I have the inclination, but I don't know how I wanted to go. And I loved it. I loved it because I realized I was like, oh, then that means that I'm gonna have to do things that I am not prepared to do. I'm gonna have to do things that are gonna make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna basically have to just be live streaming all the time, right? That's not actually true, but like it feels like it, right? Several hours a day. It was like 5.5 hours. I did the math. It was like 5.5 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm like, I'm not gonna be doing it 7 days a week. So like I have to do like even 5.5 hours, 5 days a week is still not enough, Okay. Well, then I'm gonna have to find like I don't know if I'm ever going to have a 5.5 hour block. I still have to go coach my clients. I still have to go like live my life with my family. Like the business is still going. Other things are happening at the same time. I have to go like help bring the team on and say like, okay, now that we're doing these live streams, like how do we like now repackage that and get that out into the world in case someone can't join me live and doesn't have the time to sit through 6 hours worth of conversation. And I was at that point, I was only like internally committed to doing 4 hours a day. So like, I'm like, oh, this is still to do more, and I'm still not going to hit the goal. And what ended up happening was I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to get rid of all the things that I think I need to do in order to make this work. This is like I'm going to be creating while I'm on a walk. I'm going to be creating like on the drive to somewhere. Probably not on the drive. I don't have the thing set up to go live inside of my car right now. But like it's going to be minutes, right? And then I was like, okay, well, what about like all the conversations I've been having with people? I'm like, you know what? I used to send them WhatsApp messages. I'm probably just gonna have to go live and share that thought and process now, like with everyone, because I'm an audio processor. You'll notice that about me. um, but the interesting thing about that is that like I had to break everything. I went from the days before trying to figure out how do I do this right to like I just need to get this done. This just needs to happen. And so if this just needs to happen, like I can't really do it. And you know, I'm gonna have to let it suck to start out with. I'm gonna have to let it just like begin and just like and see what takes place with it. And that's where we are. All right. And so I went to go hit record. And when I went to go hit record, I was grateful. I had found the software. I'd done taking care of so many of the things beforehand that were in my way or that were holding me back. And then I came on and I realized I'm like, well, I don't want to just like talk and not have any calls to action or things to make things easy. And so I was like, oh, they can go to the school group. But then I realized that my school group I hadn't set up properly, and like it was still kind of like stagnant from a ways back. So what was really cool was like I came on and yesterday, I made more progress toward this movement, like with some of the administrative things, the behind the scene things, the decisions that needed to be made that hadn't yet been made. All of them were like made within like a half hour because I wanted to go hit live. I was like, if I miss this window, like it has taken so much to get here. Like I know I have to jump. My friend Dave Gibson from growing up in high school. Shout out to Dave. He said something in high school that has stayed with me now over 20 years. And it's like, he said, you got to hop on the op, man. Got to hop on the op. I don't know if it was his or someone else's, but like, I felt it. I was like, oh, the opportunity, got to hop on the opportunity when it shows. The opportunity is now. I'm engaged. I'm excited. Let's go. Um, and so we spent a half hour doing some of the back end things, and then we hit live. And then yesterday I went live and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say, but we hit live. We went live. And it brought us to, I think I did like 13 minutes yesterday. And we had our first 13 minutes and now we're on 27 minutes here today. So I think we've done 40 of the 10,000 minutes already coming through. Now today I had a client call that we had to reschedule. And so this was not, I hadn't planned on talking at this time. Um, and the call was rescheduled. And I was like, oh, I have some minutes to do. I have to get to 10,000. And this is the part that I know is going to be really interesting. Well, I'll talk about what I believe about the journey of 10,000 in a bit. And you'll see, like, I'm excited to get like more structure around this in a bit where I can think through this and be like, all right, now I'm going to talk about this and so on and so forth. I have a little notes feature here, so I might be able to keep some of the notes for me where I'm like, oh, I want to come back to that. But the in the absence of this, I'll kind of share it a little bit more in stream of consciousness and make sure you know what's going on. But yeah, it occurred to me. I'm like, oh, I have to go live now then, right? Because I have the time. Like, if I can even make, and this is it. If I can make 1 minute, that's 1 minute closer, all right? But I also know that during the 10,000 minutes, this is something that is going to be, I feel like it's a marathon, but not like a marathon of my production, but more a marathon of like the minutes that are there. Like I can't get to 10,000 minutes without doing 10,000 minutes. Like I can't go from minute one and then like shortcut my way there. Like it's not going to happen overnight. And that is something that I think is going to be another like internal lesson. Like I said, I'll share some of the reasons, some of the things I think I'll get from this as a result of doing this. One of them is just like the I can be really impatient. I'm like, let's just collapse time. Like, why can't we just get it now? All right. Like, what do we need to do to help us get it now? And there's a part of me that wants to really grow into building something over time and accumulating it so that once it's done, you have it. And I started getting a glimpse of this with the podcast episodes. Like, it's cool for me to come and say like, hey, we released over 400 episodes in the last 18 months, right? Or like, it's more than I had 400 unique conversations. We've released more of them. Some of them have been like some throwbacks. That's why I'm like 400, 600. Where does it sit? So I'll just say 400 for now. Um, and but it's cool now, 18 months later, where I'm like, oh, I have that. Like that's underneath my belt. Like that's mine. Like I will never not have done 400 episodes in 18 months again. because it's mine. But I didn't have that when I first started out in it I started out in March of 2024 was when I did the first episode again. By September of 2024, I'd moved to doing large group panels or small group panels with 4 to 5 people in it. Right. And that's the funny part about this year is like that 400 was like on and off. Like we were having some conversations. Sometimes we were talking, sometimes we weren't. And of those 400 conversations, like if we multiply it, those were the number of episodes released, not the number of people who were on the episodes, right? So I've talked to like thousands of people like in the last minute. It's kind of weird to say or like to think about. That's gonna get me thinking here because as I say that out loud, I'm like, oh, I built the system to start talking to them, but I didn't really like continue to build the relationship engine afterwards, which is a note to self here. That it's time to bring that into the mix as well. And these are the things that there's a part of me that looks at the 10,000 minutes and like why I wasn't getting started. And it was just like, well, if I don't have all the different components from A to Z in place, then like I might just do A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B over and over and over again and not get anywhere. Um, and that was stopping me. But like I get excited by this because I also know that that's not true. Like I get bored very quickly, and I also have a high standard for excellence, and so that's something that's newer for me to call in. But like I'm not here for like prestige and quality, but I'm just like we should play at like the top levels. If we're gonna do it, let's just go all in. Like let's just be like let's just maximize it. And so where this sits is that like I get really excited to see candidly like how good I am at this like in at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of 2026, because I've already put in 10,000 minutes now, right? I get excited seeing like knowing that I've already gone what we're like this is 40 minutes of experience that I didn't have yesterday, or 31 minutes of experience at this moment. But there's something in this that makes that I just get really excited to be like, "Oh, when I have 10,000 minutes of experience on live stream, like I'm gonna be all over. I'm gonna like the things we're gonna be doing. Like, yeah, if you're watching this live, you may be seeing me move around like the pictures every once in a while, like change my screen up every once in a while, because I'm learning things. I'm playing around with my software and tool. And like I think about it in the back of my mind, I'm especially playing with it right now, so you can see it and she be doing all that right now. But I'm thinking about it in my mind and I'm like, oh, okay, well, what are like the scenes that we should be having in advance so that if I'm mentioning something, people can like something can show up on the screen, or it will create something new. Like I got to play with that a bit. All right, I'm like, okay, hey, if you want to come and talk to me live, come and get some live coaching, no problem. You can go ahead and just use the QR code. It's either in the upper left hand corner, or you can click on the one that says "Let's co-create live," and you can leverage that. You can just take your QR code and come talk to me, and we can talk in real time. Like that's fun. Like I got to build these things, and there's a part of me that is really tickled too because I think about what happens when someone goes on, even 4 minutes of this 10,000 minute journey. Right now, you're seeing me go through this in a fairly unstructured way, which allows me to just hit live and go. Well, this is one of the like. There was a part of me that was really embarrassed. Embarrassed. I don't know if that's the right word, but like I felt like I should be at like a higher standard than this, right? Than just like showing up and just going. I felt like I should have everything like dialed in, so on and so forth. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is gonna be really fun because I really get to do very like a whole lot of different like ideas and concepts and have them like mix and mash and be like, oh, today I'm coming on for 10 seconds because I have 10 seconds to like document something, or you know what, today I have a call with a client. We just got done. This client is like working on their own levels of visibility that they want to get out in the world. And I was like, then let's not just talk about like getting out in the world here in our private coaching session. Come live with me. Let's go right now. Like, let's jump into another space. And the rest of the coaching doesn't need to be coaching. Like, I don't need to like ask you questions. Like, but you're gonna have the experience of being out in the world. We're gonna have the experience of sharing your mission, your vision, your values, like out with people. We're just gonna do it. Ah, I'm getting excited. Like because I can do that now. Like, This becomes fun. It's a really fun invitation platform now. Um, Literally right before I came on here, I was like, I'm gonna hit record. Not sure what I'm gonna say, where I'm gonna go with it. I actually even have had three different structures put that reached out to ChatGPT. I'm like, I'm going live. Like, what should I do? How can I do this? And it gave me three structures, and I was like, great. I'll just go through that. Clearly, we didn't do that here today. I shared what was on the heart and what was happening behind the scenes. But the idea of like this in 10,000 minutes later, having people who are regularly commenting and being able to share their comments on the screen and to have a person who's producing with me who's like, hey, look, I'll be there and I'll be doing like they'll be moving the screen from one scene to the next and having like I had this graphic lying around, I guess, but I had this graphic lying around that has like the blue background and it says Outlier's Edge on it. Like luckily I had that. So now I can put it on here rather than having just it being like a random like backdrop. But what other things can I be doing? What other ways can I be sharing things? How cool can this get? And then how much service can I actually do? Because that's what I want to do, y'all. I'm here to serve. I'm really am here to serve. And um, hmm, I'm here to co-create. I think that's really it. I want to co-create. That is fun. That's the game of co-creation, a game of taking someone's ideas and visions and bringing it out to life. And so I am looking at that and thinking, oh, what a wonderful platform for this. What a way to be able to come out and be with each of you on a regular basis, to call people in, to coach live again. Oh, miss doing that. Like, because there's something that happens, y'all. There's something that is different from coaching in a private experience than it is coaching publicly or with other people around. So even semi-private, and whether it's like shared or distributed to the world and all that. And it's not about the. It's about being witnessed through it. It's about the experience of it. It's ooh, can you can you achieve the level of courage or playfulness or fun or level of commitment to your purpose or whatever is being asked of you? Can you get to that level to such a high degree that even when you're like recorded or out in front of people, like that doesn't change? You don't need a perfectly safe one-on-one like a container for that to show up. Now look, there are things that are also important to work through in a one-on-one container. That's one of the things I love. It's like I can do it all now. And I invite you to think about things for yourself where you get a chance to play with all of it. And the it just feels ridiculously awesome. Like I think that's what I can say. It just feels like really awesome. And like, oh, we can do this. Like all I know is that I'm learning live with you all. Varian Brandon several years ago, I don't know if she still says it, but several years ago, she said something about live out loud, right? And I'm like, I love that. Right now I'm choosing to learn out loud. And actually, I think Varian she did 365 days in a row of live streams. Right, that was her goal, and this was back in like 2017. Like this was a while back, but she did 365 days of live streams in a row. And I remember one of the most like important moments of my life that happened through her. One day she came on, and it was like she started making her live stream at 12:05 midnight in the morning. And the thing was that she had gone, it had been she had missed the day beforehand. She was only 5 minutes late. She missed it by 5 minutes, but she had missed the day. And what I saw was, I think she was on like day 180. Like she had done like 6 months of this, something in that area. Like just noticed she was invested. And she came on and she said, today's day one, y'all. Welcome to day one. And it's like, she's like, because I had said it wasn't doing 365 days, it was 365 days in a row. And in my commitment there, I missed it. I missed it by 5 minutes, but we are starting all over again. Right. So she ended up doing well over 450 days in total on it. But that was when I really got the chance to see, like, oh, she got a game over on her game. And rather than try and be like, come back in or like, let me go back to the last save, she said, I'm so like the real transformation is the actual process of doing this all. And so I'm going to leave this conversation. I'm going to end this conversation here. I'm going to end. It says, yeah, I'm going to end this conversation on that note. Like the real transformation is this. Like the person that we all will become over the next 10,000 minutes of us here together. Like I get really excited for that. And on the selfish basis here, there's a part of me that's just super excited to see like, oh, I like it's gonna be 10,000 minutes of being the leader that you want to be. 10,000 minutes of bringing the movement out to life. 10,000 minutes of learning out loud, and making this about learning, right? And there'll be earning that comes through this. I actually like, and now it's not like I just believe that it will happen. It's like no, I actually have structures and mechanisms in place, like systems in place to make sure that there's earning that takes place as well. Because without it, I can't keep doing this. But my goodness, how awesome will it be to just be able to keep showing up, keep coming on lives, keep serving, keep co-creating, meeting other people, giving them a platform in real time, and then having a wonderful engine behind it all to then make sure it gets out to people in the way that they want to listen to it. For any of you that are here live, we're about to wrap up this conversation, but know that I'm deeply appreciative of you. There's one person that's been with me this entire conversation. I love that. So I'm going to keep calling things out in real time so that like, because I don't want to hide, right? Right now I can see one viewer and I'm not even sure if it's just me, So if it's you, if you're the person there, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're real. It might just be like me, like as I have to go onto Instagram to like have to go through that process to get things out on Instagram. And this is important, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you being here on the journey. It's so fun to be here 40 some minutes into this conversation, and like I'm tracking the minutes right now because that's part of like the 10,000 minute thing. In the long run, I promise you, I probably won't be like we're at like minute 642. Like I forgot how many podcast episodes I had, and so it's not that, but right now it's important. It's important to get the game rolling, get the ball rolling. But I'm already like I'm noticing the differences that are already taking place. Like I'm chilling. I'm like leaning into the mic. I like to do this. Like I'm finding my stride, and I get to do this in real time. But not only do I get to do it in real time, but like we're chronicling the journey. We're chronicling the journey here, and showing. Uh, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm like in 1 week, this whole thing is going to look so different than it looks right now. In just 1 week, like I'm looking at things with my microphone placement, my background, like there's so many things that are going on. I'm watching TV with a different lens. I'm watching like other things. I'm like, oh, I like what they did there. Let me go and add that over to this thing. I'm working with a producer who has stuff to see and see how I get things done. And so I just think to myself, oh, how awesome is this going to be? Because otherwise, most other people, but like the standard approach would be like, I'll do 1 hour a week, I'll do 5 minutes here, like on a random basis here or there. And I'm like, I'm going to get so many minutes in, so many reps. And if I just improve, my hitting goal is to uh is for continuous improvement. Um, and what I'm looking for is how do I make each minute 1% better than the minute beforehand? That's it. So I'm trying to compound and minute over minute over minute over minute, 1% better. 1% and 1%, there's a lot of percentages to go. Trust me. So it's like 1% more comfortable, 1% more belief in myself, 1% clearer communication, 1% playing more with scenes, 1% thinking about things, like whatever it is. Like I want to just keep compounding. 1% sharing the story better, 1% like bulleting better, having plans better, whatever it is. There's so many different things that need to get better along this way. I'm like, if I just keep compounding it, and I do it in a very short compounded component, I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get there be like, I'm not gonna recognize myself or this by the end of the 10,000 minutes. Like that's my feel on this. It's just going to be because I'm not just here doing the same minute 10,000 times. No, each minute is better than the next, and then the next, and then the next. And then I get to watch all these, and then I get to come back and be like, oh, okay, so now I'm gonna be this much better than the last time I was on completely. And we'll have some discrete jumps in there as well. All right, before I get into like concrete, continuous versus discrete growth, I wanted to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being a part of this year. I'm looking forward to being on the journey with you. Generally speaking, Monday through Friday, we will be here on Outliers Edge live. For we're doing daily coaching, co-creation. You'll see things that are happening behind the scenes. I'll be bringing on guests for to share different panels. You can ask different questions of them. My producer and I are working on some really awesome segments and programs. So like we're gonna be jamming here. All right. And all of this is in service and in co-creation with you. So whenever you get a chance, like this might be your first time in here, like go ahead, leave a comment. Like I want to like I'm choosing live because we get to interact. We get to interact. So go ahead, leave a comment with it. Come join us, or come on and spend time with us over in so spend time with us live and like you can come join here. We'll talk. You can ask me anything. We can work through things. We can chat. We can just talk. You know. Yeah, all I know is that this is the right path. I appreciate you. All right. Be well. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10. That's what I'm gonna say. And then if it ends up being later on today, so be it too. All right. Until the next time, this is Pacific time that I'm thinking through here. So until the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.